And let's take a look at some of the stories that you sent in, beginning with this set of images from the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway showing a gridlock on the Kara end of the highway earlier today. According to our eyewitness reporter, the jam extended to Ojota in Lagos State from Ibafo in Ogun State. He says the gridlock was on both sides of the road. Well, next is this image from Osogbo, the Osun State capital, showing these people whom our eyewitness reporter describes as staff of the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, protesting over poor funding of the state university. Our eyewitness reporter is lamenting an alleged neglect of the university by the Oyo and Osun State governments who co-own the institution. He wants both states to give more attention to the running of the school and prevent the perennial closure over funding. Our next story is this set of images from Isikwato community in Abia State showing the poor state of the road there. Our eyewitness reporter says the road connects to Ogboro and Amiyi Ogundoasa communities, both in Abia State. She is raising concerns over the gradual erosion there. She wants the state government to do something about it. And finally, this image showing what is left of a building which, according to our eyewitness reporter, houses a radio station, Fresh FM in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. He reports that the station was demolished by the state government allegedly over non-compliance with building approval. Well, thank you for sending in the images. Please note that you can send reports, events as they happen around you. And well, just like you saw in that eyewitness report, several residents of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, today witnessed the demolition of music house owned by popular gospel artist Yinka Ayefele. Well, eyewitness accounts told Channels Television that the bulldozers were deployed as early as 5 a.m. and lasted for over 1 hour. Some of those who witnessed the demolition criticized the government's action, considering the impact of the radio station on the community.
This man, Yinka Ayefele, is even struggling. But I'm very disappointed because what happened here today is very, very bad.
It's a monumental loss. It's a great tragedy to the people of Ibadan and Oyo State as a whole, because the case of the demolition is still pending at the court.
Well, in the meantime, the Oyo State government has been defending its action on the demolition. According to the State Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, the Oyo State government, Mr. Toye Arulogun, a demolition notice had been sent to Fresh FM since June 14, 2017. The notice, he says, was not based on sentiment or witch hunt, as several other contravention notices were served to different organizations in the state. The statement reads in part, quote, "The state government observed that property owners in the state are deviating from the originally approved building plans without seeking physical planning approvals from the Oyo State Bureau of Physical Planning and Development Control." End of quote. Mr. Arulogun goes on to say that the submitted approval from the music house was actually meant for an office complex and not a radio station, thereby contravening the Oyo State planning law. Well, elsewhere, the Lake Nigeria Police Force is asking Nigerians to be security conscious as well as cooperate with its personnel ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. This, according to the police, is to achieve its robust and elaborate security arrangement, for which they are engaging Assistant Inspectors General of Police as well as Commissioners of Police in zonal and state commands nationwide. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has also ordered a massive deployment of personnel throughout the country while assuring travelers and motorists of their safety on the highways. However, the police force is also placing commissioners of police and their personnel in the northeast and other flashpoint states on red alert. The force says it is beefing up security around praying grounds, recreation centers, and public utilities. And to a bit of politics now. The dust generated by the conduct of the Port Harcourt Constituency 3 by-election that was disrupted by violence is yet to settle. Well, this time, the state governor, Nyesom Wike, described it as a war on the people and believes that there may be dangerous times ahead.
It was meant to be an election for only Constituency 3 in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, without much ado. But the breakout of tension and the violence suggests otherwise. The state governor, Nyesom Wike, condemns what he calls the role of security operatives in the exercise.
Instead of providing security for voters and INEC officials, the police brazenly colluded with political talks of our Progressive Congress APC to survive the democratic process and deny the people of Pt.2 concentrate their rights to free, fair, and credible elections.
Meanwhile, the opposition party in the state, the APC, in a statement puts the blame at the doorstep of the PDP. The statement reads in part, quote, "It is unfortunate that what should be a mere state constituency by-election witnessed pockets of voter intimidation, harassment, vote buying and shooting activated by the PDP. Elsewhere, INEC's resident electoral commissioner is also lamenting the situation. He says his officers were at the receiving end.
When election was supposedly over, it was impossible for us to access the locations that were meant to be used for the collation. And so, as far as we were concerned, there was little we can do at that point. And so that was why the commission decided that the election should be suspended.
It appears the last has not been heard on the election, as it is not yet clear when the electoral body will conclude the process. Emmanuel Irene, Channels Television News.
Addressing a gathering of Christian youth in Calabar, the state capital in Cross River State, Governor Ben Ayade, well, he was advising the youth to play a more active role in politics and not be enticed to fall for questionable practices towards the 2019 elections. The governor also encouraged the youth across the country to ensure that they get their permanent voter cards.
As the build-up to the 2019 general election gains momentum, this gathering of youth drawn from different parts of the country gather at this church function in Calabar, where the governor Ben Ayade is present, urging them to effectively arm themselves for active politics come 2019 through obtaining their permanent voter cards.
Go out there, make sure that you get your card and be strong in government. Make sure you penetrate every aspect of governance so that we can bring our ecclesiastical attitude and conduct in a level and in high places in government. We as Catholics can no longer fold our hands and sit back and watch the degeneracy in our country. We must come together as a people and as a church, because the Bible teaches us that once we are gathered, He is there with us. We must come together like we have today.
The prelate moderator of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria addresses the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church to have a change of attitude as relates to politics.
Let me quickly remind all those who do not have permanent voters' cards to do so immediately after this assembly. The heresy is our power. If you do not have it, you are denying yourself a fundamental right to choose your leaders.
The federal government is also seeking cooperation at all levels, including that of the church, as well as individuals, to achieve a successful and credible election in 2019.
This is their instrument to ensure the survival of this nation, so they should go and get their permanent voters card so that they can vote for great people that will lead this country.
With the ongoing campaign on voter education, it's hoped that Nigerians will avail themselves of every opportunity to exercise their electoral mandate come the 2019 elections.
And the Bauchi State Governor believes that those describing the present government's war against corruption as selective are simply trying to obscure the fact that they are corrupt. Governor Mohammed Abubakar told Channels Television's Ladia Keredoluwale on our special political program, Roadmap 2019, that the war against corruption is open-ended and will eventually encompass all the political actors.
My view is that we haven't come to the end of the fight against corruption. So the people should not conclude you are jumping the gun. I know, I am a member of the APC, I'm a governor. I know what is going on. I know that quite a number of APC big shots are being investigated. But you see, what the president has done is to warn against trial by newspapers. This was what was happening before. The moment a petition is filed against you, AFCC will go to press. But the current government has warned, never go to press in respect of anybody unless you have a prima facie case established against that person and you are prepared to take that person to court. Stop trial by sensation. So at the end of it all, Nigerians will realize that this fight is not selective. But those people who have perpetrated ills against the government and the people of Nigeria must be brought to book. And they are the ones who are saying it's selective anyway.
For the full interview with Governor Mohammed Abubakar, do watch Roadmap 2019 tomorrow, Monday the 20th August 2018 at 9 p.m. only on Channels Television.